closing, and at the same time they read that, oh, we won this award for site expansions and new jobs are coming in. Can you explain this contradiction? I mean, both things are true, both trends are true. How can it be?
Well, I think it's true because we are facing very unusual economic circumstances right now. We are in a transition period in terms of our economy, and we are also in a very uncharted waters in terms of the global economy and the national economy. So while there is dislocation and job loss, even in the midst of that, there are these examples of where companies are deciding to invest and to build. And so, as the Lieutenant Governor said, we believe that by attending to the basics, by focusing on the things that will make the foundation of our economy strong, when the recovery comes, we will be in a position here in Ohio to fully participate in that recovery. And these examples that are being celebrated today are bright spots within, an economic storm.
But is there some trend? Is there some pattern that the companies that are leaving and shutting down and laying off are a certain type, whereas the ones that are coming in are something new or different?
Well, I think there's some truth to that, and that's what I meant when I said we have an economy that's in transition, probably the most glaring example of that is the auto industry. Ohio is suffering deeply, as is Michigan and a few other states, with what's happening in the auto industry. That's an example of an industry that at this point in time is especially struggling. But there are other industries, and we mentioned here today wind power and solar power as two examples of emerging new industries. So this is a transition. That does not mean that the auto industry will disappear, but there is no doubt that Ohio has suffered dramatically as a result of the decline that is occurring within the auto industry.
What about the worker who's unemployed now, Governor, who might be losing his or her job? What would you say to them that this means to them? Does it mean anything to them, or is this all for 4 or 5 years down the road?
Well, it may mean something to them eventually, because these investments will lead to jobs in the future. And so that's why I'm happy that the stimulus bill that was just passed in Washington did provide extended unemployment benefits to people who have lost jobs and have not yet been able to find new employment. So I think we need to be concerned and take whatever steps we can take to help those who are caught in this economic storm, but it cannot prevent us from working toward opportunities in the future. I do think that not just in Ohio, but in our entire country, we were negligent in recognizing the need to pursue new and advanced energy resources. I think back to Jimmy Carter's speech in the mid-'70s when he talked about energy and the energy crisis being the moral equivalent of war. And he was mocked and made fun of. But quite frankly, if we had heeded Jimmy Carter's admonition in the 70s, we would not be finding ourselves in the circumstances that we're facing today. So I think there has just been a failure to look toward the future and to anticipate what we need to do to move forward. I think there's been a tendency to try to just simply circle the wagons and hold on to what we always had, and that has not served us well.
how much of this is tied to how much the state spends in terms of economic development?
You know, I don't know. And it would be interesting to talk to the fellow from Site Selection Magazine.